Hey guys, what's up? It's RXD Coach here today, and today I want to talk about dips. I've created this setup here, something that I think can be helpful to maybe if you are stuck with dips or you want to explore them and think about them in a different sort of way. So a big part of this channel, and if you're following this page or YouTube channel or in any way that you're consuming this information, is that I want to challenge people to think about movement in different ways and in non-traditional ways, because it isn't we put a lot of rules when it comes to movement that maybe don't have to be there and can be played around with. I think one good example of that is the butterfly pull-up in CrossFit. It's something that didn't exist, that was created, and we've grown to accept it. And over time, there's obviously some backlash right now with certain communities regarding it, but over time, it will be completely accepted as a movement. And I want to challenge that. I want you to think about movement with some other movements. Like dips and pistols that you could maybe apply some of those concepts to. So what I've done here is I've set up a 30-inch box, a 12-inch box with some plates and some dumbbells, so I could have a stable surface to play around with. You could do this without the dumbbells, so you don't have that straight wrist, but my wrist's just giving me a bit of grief, so I'm just going to keep that so I can keep my wrist neutral. What I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start with by just doing a few dips. So I'm going to, if you struggle with dips, first of all, something you can do is work on a jumping dip, right? So if this was a little bit lower, I could dip my knees and jump, come down. So first of all, you can use something like this to start working on something like a jumping dip. If that was a little bit too high, you could move these out a tiny bit. Same sort of thing. I'm able to use my legs, I dip down, and then I jump up, all right? Now, what is happening every time you get to the top of the dip is that we want to create control. One of the ways we're going to create control is by stabilizing our body through a hollow body position, all right? Something that you've probably done on the ground lots of times. So instead of being relaxed, we're going to make sure that everything's nice and tight. So when I go to the top of the dip from that jumping dip, I get myself into a hollow body position. Everything's nice and tight. I'm in a good support. All right, from there, once I have jumping dips, I can start playing around with things like strict dips. So now I can start working on bringing myself down, pressing myself up. Once I feel like I have that nailed down, then I can start playing around with the concept of a kipping dip, all right? And really quickly, a kipping dip is the following. We find ourselves at the bottom of the dip. So elbows are, my chest, my shoulders down. I raise my knees and I press my arms. A big confusion with the kipping dip is that it happens as a result of the kick, but it really happens as a result of you closing your hip, right? You could close your hip with straight legs and press up. You could close your hip with bent knees and press up. I'm going to demonstrate that. So first is a strict dip, and now a kipping dip. So once we've established that we can play around with that movement and add a bit of assistance to momentum, now we can start playing around with this concept of a butterfly dip. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to lower myself down, my feet are going to be behind me, I'm going to scoop my legs through, and I'm going to press up. And then I'm going to start cycling through the motion in a circular fashion, right? Why to do this? Lots of reasons. Look, first of all, it's expanding on your range of movement, right? Not every movement in life is done in a up and down sort of fashion, right? There are circular motions in the world and they exist. I guess it's teaching you a different level of body awareness, right? If you can't do this, rather than you wondering why should you do it, my question to you would be, why can't you do it? What is it about your body that you don't know that you don't understand yet, that maybe you should understand to try and do a movement like this? And then just from a competitive standpoint, if you do lots of ring dips and workouts, and if you've watched a lot of high-level competitors in the sport of CrossFit do lots of ring dips, you'll find that a lot of them kind of cycle through a butterfly style ring dip anyway. So this will be a butterfly dip. Do you want to come around this side? So, what are the takeaways from here? There is always going to be a progression that you can start from. So if you're at the stage where you can't do a dip, You can take this away, do a dip from there, take those away, do a dip from there. There is always positional work that you should be working on. So basic things like, can you maintain a hollow body position after you've been moving through the movement? Third thing would be something basic like understanding that just because we keep things doesn't mean we don't do them strict. It just means that if we're going to add extra motion to a movement, it's just something else we can do with it. And the fourth thing is just, there's more to movement that maybe you think there is, and there's so much more that can be explored. I'm going to do a few of these videos, guys, so if you enjoy this sort of content, I know it's a little bit left field, just keep coming back to this channel, share it around, because I think this sort of stuff doesn't get talked about enough. You know, this isn't purely kind of like things that I've come up with. I've picked a lot of other coaches' brains, some of the best coaches, like I guess within this community. So it's stuff that's already out there. It just doesn't get spoken about a lot. If you enjoyed this, share it, and peace.